Yo, what's going on? We're gonna check out Are You Scared of the Happiest Place on Earth?
Ghost Files Season 3 is just around the corner. So you know what that means? We're once again hitting the road for the Ghost Files Live Tour.
That's right, we're packing our bags and visiting 18 cities all throughout the US and Canada.
Canada? Head on over to ghostfileslive.com. Might find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's check it out, bro.
Amusement parks are marketed as fun for the whole family. Memories that will last a lifetime in a wholesome and safe atmosphere. Unfortunately, not every memory is a good one.
This
Some
park is so
might
fun,
be
bro.
downright
I be
nightmares.
loving going
Tonight,
on roller
our
coasters.
narrator stumbles into another family's nightmare, learning that some trips to amusement parks are not amusing at all. I'm Ryan Bergara, and this is Are You Scared?
Is this Happiest Place on Earth? Does this take place in Disney?
A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest stories. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's see if we can make it till the end.
Hold on,
of
let
the
me turn
night.
on my light. Hold on. Alright, this is better. Alright.
A ride to remember.
Ooh,
I love
spooky.
amusement parks. I grew up in a small town in the middle of the country, and the nearest one was an hour away. And while most people from out of town think it's boring, I loved it. I'd ride the 2 roller coasters and other non-coaster rides all day long. It wasn't until I was finally in my early 20s that I had enough money to take a trip to a huge national amusement park. I won't name names here, but you've heard of it. If
Yep,
not,
it's
been
Disney.
to it.
It's Disney.
Whoa. I think I might be picking up what this guy's putting down.
This sounds like a coaster puppy, as you call them in the trade.
We don't call him that.
That's not what you call them?
No.
But you consider yourself a coaster puppy.
I would call myself a coaster head.
So this story resonates with
I
you.
wrote this. This is about
This
me.
is one that you submitted.
Yes.
Okay.
Put pen
so
to paper.
everything that happened in this story happened to you.
This is a very true story.
This is a
A very, very, very true story. I feel like some of it is always split between these stories that they do. Some are real, some are not.
first time you're going public.
We have to
with
like
it.
guess in the end if it's real or
Okay.
not.
But I will say that
So far,
I'm
it
pretty
sounds
sure
realistic.
I know what big theme park
it's
you're
nothing
talking
really
about.
happened,
We
though.
can't say it,
Yet.
but it rhymes with Smizme.
Smizme?
Smizme man. The whole trip was
Smizme
amazing.
man.
It put my local park
Yeah,
to
it's
shame.
Disneyland.
Especially in the rides department. The rides all had stories and songs and were even more fun than I'd imagined, except for one ride. Again, I won't say which one, but let's just say the world of theme park rides is not that big of a world after all. So maybe you can guess. All right, I lied. I didn't write this story, everybody, but now I think I do know what they're talking about.
They are talking about Disneyland, and it's a small world. We need to make up a fake thing here. So it's not Disneyland. What did you call it? Smizme-land?
Smizme-
You can still call it
Smizme-land.
land.
Smizme man.
Smizme-land, teeny tiny planet.
Anyways, it's a famous ride with a famous song. But as soon as our boat entered the main attraction, I fell asleep immediately. Now this pisses me off. Have some fucking respect for the ride.
On Eensy Teensy World?
Respect the ride. Respect the
I think it's that one log ride. I mean, I've never been to Disney World, but I'd seen like this one ride that it's like on water, but it's like slow. It just goes by through different attractions. I don't know what ride it's called. Let me
narrative.
know in the
That is
comments.
like a lullaby of a ride. though.
Respect the craftsmanship
what
of
ride
the
I'm talking
folks
about.
who made it.
What's the narrative on that ride?
It's pretty fucking simple. It's in the song.
That's not really a narrative, though.
Yes, it is.
just
It's a
stating
small
fact.
world.
It's a small world.
It
It's a
even
small
includes a little bit of like, I
Oh, is that
didn't
the
think
ride?
it was a small world, but you know what? It is, after all.
You ever been on vacation and run into a friend?
Yeah, it's a small world after all.
Yeah, that's happened to me. In
I should-
fact, at Disney World, I remember in my youth, I ran into someone else from my grade school there. I was like, what are you doing here? It's a small world after all, I guess. It's a world of laughter, a world of fun. There's so much that we share that it's time we're aware.
During the whole ride, I was asleep and dreaming that I was actually still on the ride. Except all the people and all the animatronics were gone. The music was still playing, but it was just an empty ride. Just me and my boat cruising around all alone. That is, until the very end, where 4 little animatronic dolls swayed slowly to the music.
Bro, that would be like actually scary if you went on a ride by yourself. Like legit, anything can happen. Like obviously nothing will happen, but that's still like imagine going on a ride and it's one of the ones that go in the tunnels, right? And it's just you in a complete pitch dark with animatronics
The
singing
creepiest thing
creepily.
was, their faces just stared at me as I floated past,
Yeah,
following
they're
me.
holding
It was
bugs.
extremely unsettling. But then I woke up, just as the ride was pulling back into the station. I had slept through the whole thing, and I had a horrible headache. This is fucking great, dude. We should do more scary stories about theme park rides.
It reminds me of like an old Goosebumps or something.
Yeah.
I loved it when Goosebumps would go crazy like that.
This answers the age-old question of what would happen if Chucky snuck on to It's a Small World and just pretended for a little bit.
Oh, you can do a cowboy.
Yeah, you could do a cowboy.
They got the cowboys over there with the lassos.
And
Jesse's
then, like,
hanging out.
Yeah,
Woody's
exactly.
there.
You could be with the lasso, and someone could be like, "Wow, look at that doll's funny little face."
And then he kills him. Yeah, he slits someone's throat.
That reminds me of a meme. Y'all know Dreamy? Like you know Dreamy, he does OS. But like there's literally a meme of like when Andy finds out no wait, when Andy finds Buzz moving, he's like, Buzz? Buzz. No, that shit funny. I need to find a
Then he'd
video.
probably say something like bitch or something because he's got a nasty mouth on him.
Eventually, after eating some food and drinking some water, my headache disappeared. But I was still confused about my dream and disappointed in the ride. Well, you fucking slept, so it's not really the
Yeah,
ride's
you don't
fault.
even
Don't blame
you
the
don't
ride.
even get to experience the
There are
ride.
tiring days at those theme parks, so you get your steps in.
Remember that lady who refused to listen to the cast members in Disney World on that like little bike thing? And then when we found her later in the line, she had gone full speed into one of the line like holders and clotheslined herself. And that was why the cast member told her not to drive through that lane. And she was like, "Fuck you, buddy!" And then she just sped off.
Bro,
And
people are so dumb. They dead at like they don't want to listen to anyone. Like people are so ignorant to like they don't even listen to
then
like
Shane and I were like,
people
"That
who
was really
work there.
rude." And then 10 seconds later, she's like,
I know. Fucking well deserved. Well deserved. This is why you listen.
He was on a rascal, but her foot was still on the gas, so it was like choking her.
and they were like, "Stop going forward, Grandma! Stop going forward!" And Shane and I fucking laughed.
We were laughing.
We
our
laughed
asses
and
off.
laughed.
They told her not to go that way.
They told her not
and
to
she
go
was like,
that
"I'm
way."
going."
I'm going. I'm doing my own thing.
When I got home after my trip, I went online to see if other people felt the same way I did about this supposedly
Just going on
famous
Reddit.
attraction.
How much you want to bet?
What follows is a post I found that I'm afraid might
Reddit,
explain
Reddit,
what
it's on
happened
Reddit.
to me. Amusement Park Discussion Forum, former park security. Oh, I'm on the forums.
Mice chat.
Yeah, on Mice Chat.
What's your username on there?
You'll
What's
never
Mice
find
Chat?
out my username. I'm still active.
Wait, so they're saying they found out what happened? They just fell asleep though, right? Like
They fell asleep
woke
and they
up.
had a headache. But if you fall asleep to the Small World music, you will wake up and kill somebody. That's scientifically proven.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What music did they be playing on Small World that like it makes everyone like have headaches?
Amusement Park Discussion Forum, former park security. I used to work in security at the amusement park. I'd been with the company for 23 years. The first 20 years I worked in the parks, watching out for shoplifters and corralling people who were drinking a bit too much. Occasionally, there'd be a fight to break up, but people usually kept it pretty mild. It's a special place, so people tend to keep pretty well behaved. Plus, it's expensive, and no one wants to get thrown out when they dropped some serious money to be there in the first place. Wild people encounters, huh, at Disneyland? Never heard of it.
Does this stack up though? Because they said they've been working in the park for how long?
23 years, the first 20 years in the park. It does check out.
Okay,
But
just
they
wanted to
didn't
check.
write this in 2024. This was written a long time ago, so they probably got fucking smashed in downtown Disney. Been there, done that. The heat and walking was getting too much for me the last few years, so I asked to be transferred somewhere with AC. And the company moved me to one of their resorts. They transferred him to a resort with AC, which
So his original result didn't even have AC, and he's probably in Florida. Like, Florida gets extremely hot. That that is that's I'll rate that 1 star, legit.
to me means this is probably in
In
Florida
Florida.
because it's that resort. Schmishmy Schmorld.
Schmishmy
Now this
Schmorld?
makes even more sense because if there were any dolls that were going to
What
come
kind of
to
resort
life,
doesn't have
it would be in
AC?
Florida. While the working conditions were more comfortable, the guest issues were trickier, mainly domestic. The stresses of a family vacation can get to a lot of people. And my most frequent call would come from guests saying that some mom and dad in a neighboring room were yelling at each other. I'd knock on the offending room, suggest they take a nap, or go do some separate activities for
Oh,
a
he's
bit,
working right now.
and that would usually calm them down. I seldom got repeat calls. One day, I got a call from management at the resort. Housekeeping had gone into a room that should have been turned over that day, but all of the guests' items were still in the room. It happens. Folks don't realize when checkout is or think they can
I'm gonna be honest. I'm snatching some items. Legit, if I find some crazy stuff, I'm snatching it. Like, it's not my fault you
just
left it.
extend a stay without
That's if
notifying
I
the
worked in
front
Brazil.
desk. Housekeeping made a note of it
If it
and
was
moved on.
allowed.
But during the next 2 days, when they entered the
It's
room,
probably not allowed,
everything
so.
was still there and untouched. I went to check it out, and sure enough, there was an empty room full of luggage, clothes, snacks, some toys, everything a family would need for a vacation. The manager had
He's
already
find some
looked up the
crazy
previous
shit.
reservation, and
Like
it
a
was for a
knife.
family: dad, mom, 2 kids. I tried to call the numbers they had given, but it went straight to voicemail. We were a bit stumped, but I decided it would be all right for housekeeping to clean the room and take the family's items to be held until we got in contact with someone. This tells me that if I wanted to, I could stay at a hotel room at least one more night.
Because they would just stash your stuff.
They didn't decide to take the items out until 2 days later. So if I really wanted to stay 2 days later, I could.
This guy,
That's a good point. It took them 2 days later after the family actually checked out to find their stuff. Yo, I'm gonna actually try that. I'm gonna stay 2 days later. And then they'll find me like, why you here? And then they'll charge me more.
who's telling us
I get more
this, should
fees.
go to a message board about hotels.
Yeah.
And then start reading the account from someone else who works in a hotel. We just keep going down the rabbit hole
Yeah.
of message boards.
That would be nice.
When are we going to jump out of the message board and back to our old pal? We never have names in these stories.
No.
Can we name the main characters so we know who we're talking about here? Bradley. When are we getting back to Bradley?
I don't know. We'll find out in a second.
To get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or
Really?
a degree.
Oh my
The
god, I
Google
don't need a
Data
degree.
Analytics
I'm gonna be a
certificate.
data analytics.
I went digging into the reservation more. The family had arrived 5 days before housekeeping discovered all of their stuff. I found that the family had paid a parking fee and their vehicle description was listed. A quick walk of the parking lots and I had easily located their vehicle, so that ruled them deciding to just leave all their stuff behind, probably. At the theme park, we have these bracelets that guests wear which act as their room key, park ticket, credit card, dining reservation payment, etc., etc. Magic bands. Schmagic
Wait.
bands. You
Magic
could also use your
band.
Apple Watch, which is pretty fucking sweet.
It's like, whop, bing,
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good noise.
whop, bing.
And now I don't have to like fumble around with my things. I can be
Occasional
carrying a
swap.
popcorn, a
Yeah.
beer.
Maybe 2 beers.
That's crazy how much of technology advanced. Like legit, you could just have a watch that does everything, or even your phone. Just literally pay like you already got it. Like I don't even see much people carry wallets anymore. I never had a wallet, but obviously my parents had wallets, but I don't see that many people carry like cash or wallet stuff.
Maybe 2 beers.
Maybe a beer and a beer.
Maybe some like utility belt where I have several other beers.
Do y'all still carry wallets?
Just like ammo around.
He's got to make it to that parking lot somehow.
That's true.
It's the only way you could sleep.
It took some work, but I was finally able to look up this family's bracelet history. That day, they went to the
Just say
boat ride.
Apple
They had
Watch.
breakfast
You
at a
know it's an
restaurant
Apple
in the
Watch.
park, rode a couple of rides, and then got on the ride where photos were taken around 11 a.m. That was it. There was nothing after that ride. The record stopped. I called up security at the park and asked them to pull security footage for the ride from that day, and I made my way over there. When I got there, my friend was very confused, almost distraught looking. He showed me what he found. There's usually a camera in the direction of where rides load and unload. The footage showed them boarding the ride in the last row, and then the footage from the exit of the ride just showed the other people in their boat exiting. The family wasn't there.
Fuck. They disappeared on the ride.
This happens every now and then in Schmishmishmand. One time I was in Schmishmish World and I was getting on the Schmotion Shride.
Motion strike.
I was getting on Schmotion Shred after. And then there was this lady and she had pushed her way from the end of the line all the way to the front. And they were like, hey ma'am, you can't do that. And she was like, rah, rah. And then she was like,
I hate people like that. Like legit, they ruined the whole like ride and everything just because of them being so self-centered and thinking that they're the main character. Just like legit, I hate people like that. Like I legit remember I went to a ride with my friends, right? And we were waiting along for a long ass time, and this freaking rude ass bitch fucking just bounced her ass right between us and just spit at us. Legit, legit. And I was about to say something, but I want to. This was like a long time ago. So I don't really remember what happened.
Like, come on! And she jumped over the
I think she got in
turnstile
trouble.
onto the
Or she
boat,
probably
got
got
on
away
the
with it.
boat.
I
Her
don't
husband was
remember.
standing behind the turnstile doing one of these, like,
Wives.
and she went,
Legit, the husbands don't do anything.
What?
and he
They let their
jumped over
wives
like a
like
dog.
run over
Like a
them.
dog?
And he got on, and Byron turned to me and he was like,
Y'all gotta do better. You be letting these women control y'all like that.
those two are goners. Because we were right behind them, and I was so stoked. All I was thinking of the ride was, I can't wait to get to the exit.
Wait, so
because
you were on the boat with
I was
them?
on the boat behind them.
Yeah.
On the
Then
boat
what
behind them.
happened?
Sure enough, we get to the exit. That boat that we see getting unloaded, she's not on the row. They yanked her.
In the middle of the ride?
No, I think they yanked her right at the exit. We shut
They
down the
yanked her.
ride immediately. Once the ride was evacuated, we turned up the lights. Me and a couple of guys from park security walked every inch of that ride 3 times before we called in help.
This family disappeared.
Eventually, there were close to 10 cast members searching, and we didn't find anything, except for 3 cell phones with dead batteries and a souvenir hat.
What?
I'd kept digging into their reservation over the last couple of days, and today I noticed they had purchased a photo package. Photo pass.
Schmodo schmass.
Schmodo
Schmodo
smash.
ass. There are photographers all over the parks and cameras in a lot of the rides. And
You need a pass to get photos for any. How much do they charge for photos in Disney?
the package, the photos are all free. They automatically get added to a guest's account when the system knows their picture has been taken. And the system always knows because of the wristbands. I opened up their photo package album and I swear there were over 800 pictures. The first 30 or so are pretty
damn.
normal. Shots from around the parks, on a few different rides, at a character meal, that sort of thing.
I don't like those character meals.
Yeah.
Wait, but do you know how photos be watermarked? Are these photos watermarked or I guess not? Because they technically pay for it.
They're a
the
bit
pass.
much. I mean, especially now at our age, it's a bit weird.
At some point, I was in Disney World, and
Legit, when I graduated, I thought I would get these photos for free. They make you pay $80 for these photos. Like you can get them online, but they're all watermarked. Like that's so annoying. Like legit, we spent like 4 years at high school, and you're not gonna give us like photos to remember our graduation for free.
we went
Like,
to a
what?
breakfast because we thought it would be funny. But then Ariel came over,
Yeah.
the mermaid woman.
Yeah, I'm sure you really like that.
Well, and she was like, "Do you want to get a picture?" And I was like,
Legit, graduation
Okay,
photos should be free.
but
I'm
it
just
felt
saying.
weird because I was, 30. We went to it expecting it to be, the Fur Brothers, what are their names?
Chip and Dale.
Dale. When they have the big costume on, then it's funny. It's like, well, Waffles over here, but I got Chip and Dale here too. Well, I'm taking a photo with them. But then we went and it was just women who were the princesses, and I was like, I don't just want photos with women.
I think this is why you went there.
Like, it wasn't.
You're not even looking at the camera, you're just, wow.
Humana.
I want to be part of her world.
You're a degenerate.
But the rest are all
That's
on that
hilarious.
one ride. The rides only take 1 picture per go-round, so it appeared as though this family had ridden this ride over 800 times. The first picture was pretty normal. Everyone looked happy.
800 times? Okay, I understand going to the same ride twice or even 3. 4 is pushing it. 5 is just crazy. You went on the exact same ride for 800 times when there's like thousands of other rides you could have been ridden in Disney. Like, what? How you gonna spend? Because going to Disney is expensive. How you gonna spend money just to go on the same ride for 800 times?
It was a busy day and a full boat of guests. The next one
How's that even
is
possible?
strange.
Legit, the
The
lines?
boat is empty, except for this little family, and they look so darn confused. I mean, anybody riding
That's
this
what I'm
particular
saying.
ride 800 times would kill people.
Yeah.
After a
What's the
while.
math on how long? I want to know.
I think it's about.
What's the runtime
Let's take a look.
of Teensy Tiny Universe? I'm going to guess 12 minutes. Is that short?
I think it's probably more on 8.
8 minutes?
No way.
It's longer?
15 mins.
15
But then
minutes times
800.
800.
That's about 200 hours?
8.3 days.
It's a long time.
So that doesn't even add up with
That
the
doesn't make
fucking-
sense.
But maybe not everything is as it seems.
The next 10 to 15, you can see Dad
That's not
getting
even
angry,
possible.
yelling. Mom is holding on to those 2 kids like her life depends on it, and you can see the kids getting increasingly upset, crying. But then the photos keep going, on and on and on. After 50 or so, it looks like they're trying to get out. In one, the dad is missing. In another, they're all gone, like they
heck?
bailed early in the ride and tried to walk out.
Alright, this is some like sci-fi stuff. I already know this is a fake
But
story.
in the very next one, they're all right back in the boat. After around 4:50 or so, I only see the mom and kids. It's just when I look closely, I can see Dad. Maybe just his body now, slumped down in one of the other
heck?
seats. The others look mentally absent, like there's
I just realized he can probably still be dreaming. This is all illusion. It's a dream.
just nothing behind their eyes. All the while, they keep getting thinner and thinner.
It's a dream.
After photo 600, there's just mom and one kid. Another body in
That kid
another
looks
seat.
dead.
The mom and kid aren't moving anymore. Catatonic, looking straight ahead, pale. This makes sense if you're writing Teeny Tiny Universe a million times in a row,
for
you're
sure.
gonna lose your mind after a while.
For
So
real.
maybe you hop off the boat. You know, you're walking through the dolls and the little cardboard mountains and stuff. You open what seems to be an exit door, but it's just more of that. And then at that point, it's turning into a backroom sort of situation where it's just this endless labyrinth of. That's fun.
And all the while, you're hearing a song over and over.
Yeah. How long can you go without water?
3 days.
Is it only 3 days?
But then you could drink your own piss.
Oh, so that's probably what they're doing.
Or just
Scooping
putting
it
their
up
head
from
over the boat like a dog and just
Yeah.
like kind of like,
That's
you know.
dangerous too.
Yo, there's these filter straws, right? They like filter as the water and you can drink it, right? I wonder how they'll taste with piss.
Yeah,
I
Can
just-
you do that?
It's gonna taste like
Looking at
water.
that? Yeah,
or
you
is-
do that
you
sometimes,
still
right?
have some piss
sometimes I
on
did that.
it.
It was so unsettling, I stopped looking at the family as I scrolled through, which made me realize the family wasn't the only odd things in the photos. I swear on my life, it appeared the animatronic dolls were moving or something. And
Yeah,
not
of
the
course.
usual rocking, but shifting positions in the actual ride.
Finds a Freddy
In some
type
of these pictures, I
situation.
can tell they aren't where they should be. In some, it appears there are dolls even in the water.
That's scary.
Dolls
Going
in
for a
the
swim.
water.
That is scary though.
Imagine being a doll cursed with sentience, and every day you just have to look at this beautiful water, and you can't go in a swim. You can't go for a little dip.
A genuinely terrifying thought to be on teeny tiny planet and looking at the water in front of you or to the side of you and just seeing a little doll come up like a gator and then go back down.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
scary.
That's
nice
nice,
bit of imagery
freaky.
there. I
That's
like
nice. It's good. I called in my superiors and showed them. To my shock, they didn't seem surprised, but shook their heads in disappointment. I overheard my boss's boss mutter something that I swear sounded like,
So this is normal.
"Another."
This is normal.
This is really happening. This is what goes on.
Gonna have to erase another.
Yeah.
I asked what I should do. Was this for the police or the FBI or what? Instead, my superiors told me they'd handle it from here. The next day, my computer access was revoked. When I tried to get answers, no one understood what was up. At the end of the day, I was asked to step into HR. There, they reminded me of the NDA I had signed when I began and told me my position was terminated. I wasn't even allowed to go back to my desk. They said I had to leave the premises immediately, and I wasn't allowed to come back, not even as a guest at the park. I don't know if anyone reading this is related to that family, but if you are, I know what happened. The company will probably do everything in its power to cover this up, but the family didn't vanish. I know exactly where they are.
What?
Where are
They
they?
never left.
Oh my god, I hate ads, bro.
So, are you scared? They became one of the dolls, is essentially what this guy is saying.
That'd be a nice button, yeah, to see the dolls as a little.
Now that is a satisfying ending to a story.
It is.
That's the
Is
end.
that
That's
the end?
Yeah.
What happened to the person reading the?
He probably took some Tylenol or some shit. And he was
Why did you need that nesting
Nah, he
device?
was
Because
tripping.
he was
He was on some acid type shit. He had an acid trip.
like,
He had a
something
headache?
weird, and he was like, I gotta look and see if other people get headaches on this ride. And then you stumble upon, like, that scans though. You ever have like a headache and you stumble upon,
Can the
like, maybe I
sto-
have cancer.
I feel like the story needs to end with him like closing his laptop and going like, "Hoof, freaky."
Hold up, hold up. Okay. Still going? Alright.
I'm scared.
Do you think if you
I
turned
thought my
into a
recording
doll
just
on this
stopped.
ride, you would still be tall?
Oh yeah, I'd be a tall
Like
doll.
all the dolls would be at uniform height, but then there'd be one really lanky
Yeah,
tall
one
doll.
beanpole ass doll above the rest with a very angular avian
That's
nose.
so dope.
Yeah. What would your animatronic motion be that's on repeat?
Just sort of like teensy tiny universe.
Ha, ha, ha.
I don't think I'd make little honks.
No.
Why would I make little honks? Well, what am I cranking it? What? Why would I be doing that?
No, you'd probably be.
My puppet wouldn't be cranking. Your puppet would be rubbing its nipples. Me cranking it, you rubbing your nipples.
It's
What are those supposed to?
Those
It's a
guys
lovely
look-
ride, except for those two weird, very sexual dolls.
I feel like I've watched those two before.
Well, we've had a lot of fun here today. Are you scared?
This story was originally posted on Reddit's No Sleep by user Disney Security. It has been modified to fit this show. If you would like to read the original story, check out the link below. Disney Security, that's a fun name to post this. I
Yeah.
bet you they just made that for this story.
Yeah.
And for those of you who made it this far, we'll see you next time.
So was it real? Well, I guess not. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it. That was actually interesting little story. If it was real, my man was on acid, but it's obviously fake. But catch you all later.